So right, dear, when I drop my hand and say, give it to me one more time, you come out and you swing your hammer down on the anvil. Got it?
Right. I come out and swing my hammer. No problem. I got it.
Fantastic. I just hope you work out better than the other guy. Hi, everybody. It's your old pal Chuck, and I'm back with another review. This week, we're going to call this Ultra Magnus Week. And if you can tell by the pre intro skit, I kind of have a little something special in mind for it. So, starting us off is Voyager class Transformers Prime Ultra Magnus. Here's a quick look at the box. I got this guy off of Amazon a little bit before Christmas. Great deal. Now, as of this recording, just saw some screen caps of the third season of Transformers Prime. Might be seeing this guy. I'm not 100% sure it will be in this style because for the Beast Hunters line, they're doing the original Prid Robots in Disguise Prime, whatever, Voyager Optimus Prime, remolding him significantly into Ultra Magnus. New head. They're taking the wing pack from the Beast Hunters Voyager and adding in some other bits. It honestly looks very involved. So I'm surprised they didn't just go ahead and make a new mold. But here he is. Right off the bat, you should see that he's incredibly similar to his Cyberverse commander. And I hate to say it, but I think that figure works a little bit better. I was very excited to get this figure. I was looking forward to getting him, regardless of the issues that a lot of people were having with him. And unfortunately, I have those same issues. Let's start off with articulation. We'll also talk about his, look and paint. But the head is on some sort of a ball swivel joint. He can look down very far. He can look up a little bit, and he can also rotate. But as you can see, because of the way the neck is cut, he doesn't turn his head flush. He does that little like "Arr!" type of look, which is kind of cool. I mean, I don't mind it. The head does have blue light piping, but the eyes are painted green. Let's see if I can give you a better look at that. There, as you can see, he's got green paint with a silver face and a little bit of a, strong and stern scowl. And then you can see right there a little silver Autobot logo on his chest. As I mentioned, he works a lot like the Cyberverse Commander in that he does have those swiveling chest pieces for the shoulders. And he also has the ball-jointed shoulders and arms. And this is where the problem comes in. Right now, they look fine. But put anything in him, like his mech tech weapon, and they're a floppy mess. And that is really just an error of design. That's not a quality control issue. That's whoever designed this toy really didn't think or take into account the weight of the weapon. And it's just, it basically, outside of two types of static poses, which we'll get into a little bit later, makes this toy utterly useless for holding his weapon, which is a shame. As you can see, for the shoulders, he does have that front of the cap, just like the Cyberverse Commander. You have those little red accents going down the side. I do like that they did work in a little bit of those vertical shoulder pylons or smokestacks. I actually think those take their cues more from the Fall of Cybertron Ultra Magnus than the G1, but that's just me. Moving down, he does have he does have this full range of motion in the arms, swivel at the elbow, ratchet joints at the elbow, but unfortunately, it's see if I can show you here. It's clear plastic, and that does concern me that over time it will break. I've been hearing a lot of stories now of people having Cyberverse Energon toys, the basics, the Scout class that came with all those clear Energon bits and weapons, and they're breaking. He does have a waist articulation. It's not really there for transformation, but it's there just, because. Ball jointed hip to the side. Swivel at the calf. Very nice. There is also some swiveling at the ball joint. Again, this is a bit of a concern for me because when you make the swivel that close to the hip joint, you do run the risk of rotating it at the hip joint more and then causing some misalignment, which does make it an issue for transformation. Ratchet at the knee, and then that's about it. The feet are molded in your typical A stance, so he does have that heroic static pose, but yeah. So for details, I mean that's about it. Back there, it's the red cab, but yeah, let's move on into take a look at his mech tech weapon. Real quick, just to get out of the way, he also comes with one missile. If he came with two, it would have been perfect because then you could really, do up the G1 homage. But there's a peg here, hole right there in the top. Different ways of combination. You can peg it anywhere. It's just, well, I mean, this is what you came here for. This is his mech tech weapon. Right off, it's like a laser rifle. Fantastic looking device. And like all mech tech weapons, it has a little light up gimmick. You start sliding it forward, that top blue piece comes down, and you have a neon green light that basically just lights up the front of the hammer slightly. I mean, these mech tech weapons for Prime never worked the way they were supposed to, never lit things up like they were supposed to. But on this one, you see this little blue tab? You can swing it forward, and if you're not pressing down on the joint, you can actually peg it into place, and he's got his hammer. Now that really ups the cool points. As of right now, well, actually, they've sort of stopped with the mech tech, so he is the only Transformers Prime Voyager whose weapon can do this, and that's a shame because it really would have helped with a lot of the other weapons, including the melee weapons. Now, let's bring in Ultra Magnus here, and you can see, and I'm going to show you the issues. First of all, there's a little discrepancy as where he's to hold it. There's a peg back here that you can slide this in, and it actually works kind of nice so that it gives that longer barrel, makes it look like a handguard. But most people do it and they slide it into his hand, and it is an incredibly tight fit to the point where I am concerned that that might be stressing the hand. So I'm not going to be doing that too much. But as you can see, he gets it up like this. Nice static pose. Let's say you want him to hold it out. Yeah, no, that's not going to happen. Like I said, he has two poses. He's got the over-the-shoulder, hey, how you doing? Let me adjust the camera here so you can see it a little better. The over-the-shoulder, hey, how you doing? And then the I've already smashed the ground type of thing. And that's very unfortunate. I mean, bring the camera back down a little. They could have really done this a little bit better. And it's like I said, it's a design fault. And it's a shame because it really takes away from the toy. I mean, sure, you're gonna when you pose them, you're probably gonna pose them with it up anyway. I mean, you're not. I mean, if you're playing with it, it's no problem. You can just swing the arm around, but it's sad. The Cyberverse Commander, his joints are close to that, but they're really on that cusp. I mean, we'll get to that when we review the figure, but yeah. So we'll just pause here, and then we'll get into the transformation. All right. If you've transformed or if you own the Cyberverse Commander Ultra Magnus, transformation's very similar. The only difference is there's a couple extra bells and whistles just because of the Voyager mold. We're going to start down by his legs, and to do so, let's turn him around, make life easier. Unpeg this side panel here, straighten it out, and then rotate it down. And as you rotate it down, let's see if I can show this to you. There's a little peg right there that the panel is going to peg into. So, yes, we're looking up Ultra Magnus's leg. Make your own joke. And same thing on this side. Now, before you go any further, make your life a little easier. You can fold out these little holders. We'll get to these later in vehicle mode. Also, while you're down here, go ahead and snap. Yes, I said snap the legs together. This is not something I am very thrilled about because you get a very loud snap, and that's plastic on plastic, and that concerns me. Come back around, flip up the feet, and then you're just going to put Ultra Magnus in a sitting position with his legs. The instructions have you do this a little different order. I just figure for now it's a little bit easier. Just get the legs done in one shot. Next, come in, flip up his arms. I should say the shoulders. Bring them a little forward. I will say that on mine, these chest pieces tend to clip in a little bit better. They clip into a peg on the backpack here. Again, that peg is clear plastic. Worries me that it's there, but it does hold better than the Cyberverse. Now for the hands, you just want to come in, and you're going to do this on both sides. Flip the side panel down, just like that, and then flip the hand in. And here, I'll do it on this side so you can see from the opposite angle. Boom, there you go. Flip it down, flip it in. There you go. Oh boy. And now comes my least favorite part. By the way, it says you can leave his head up, but it does end up moving down slightly, so you may just want to go ahead and do that. I don't know if it makes life a little easier. But yeah, basically right now, what you're doing is you're just going to bring the arms in, and at the same time, this you want to flip this piece on the backpack down. They tell you to do that last. I don't know why, but you're just going to start. Basically, there's two tabs here on the front. There are tabs here on the grill. They're all supposed to just link in together, and do that. The smokestacks go underneath the windshield. And if it sounds like I'm struggling, it's because I am. It's like these things are not your typical pagan socket joints. And yeah, I'm going to show you the rest of the body in a minute because okay, so you get that, right? And it looks so nice. Well, here's the side and the top, and it's a flop, and it's a mess. Basically, there's a hook right where my finger is. It doesn't. You just slide that on, and oh wow, that actually went in fairly easily. You know, you peg that on together, and then on the same side, see that top part by the roof? That's supposed to go in. And you just it's just literally squeezing everything together, and there you have Ultra Magnus. Some new details in vehicle mode. You do have that Autobot symbol on either side, the red stripe. Not as much white as I would like, but it is what it is. The truck does roll. So, let's pause for a moment and I'll give you a closer view of the vehicle mode and what you can do with the weapons. Okay, so here's Ultra Magnus in his vehicle mode. Showed you the new paint and stuff at the end of the transformation. So yeah, what can you do? What can you do with his weapons? Well, here's the mech tech, and here's the missile. You can peg the missile into the side here. You can peg the gun on top. You can peg them on the side here. That looks a little ostentatious. Unfortunately, there's a clearance issue, so I would just put the missile on the side. Now, come back here with those little holders. Theoretically, the instructions show you should be able to put her in like that. Or like this. Yeah, that really doesn't work. The spacing is not lined up. Now, I had somebody on Twitter tell me that they were able to remove. You can pop these out, switch them around, so so this long part is actually facing towards the back, and it works a lot better. Problem is, these are on pin and socket joints, which means you have to tap out a pin. I do not like doing that to Transformers or any toys in general, just because you do have that issue where you could break the toy. You can get it to hold in like that from one side, and it looks a little off center, or you can just, it looks a little off center, and then you can put the missile on the roof. Frankly, the way I like doing it is the first way I showed you. Just put the missile on the side here, put it in the top. Yeah, it's not much for robots in the skies, but hey, this looks like no vehicle I've ever seen on the streets to begin with, so it is what it is. We'll pause here, and I'll be back with my final thoughts. Ultra Magnus is a bit of a disappointment. I went ahead and posed him holding his mech tech weapon as a laser rifle. As you can see, you can get a two-handed pose, but I have to tell you, this is very tenuous because the arms are just dropping down every single time, and this is the best I can do it. You can get it a little higher, and it'll stay, so maybe that's a good point. But I can't recommend this figure, especially now that they've moved into Beast Hunters, and this guy was tough to find on shelves to begin with because he and Skyquake were a later wave, last wave figures, and a lot of stores didn't stock them. Like I said, I was able to get this guy on Amazon before Christmas for a very decent price, and we're talking under $30. We're talking like almost below retail, and even then, I'm not even sure if it was worth it. So, if you have the Cyberverse Commander, stick with that guy. Uh, it's a little more fun of a figure. The transformation's a little bit easier and less aggravating. You still have to push things together, but the toy doesn't cost an arm and a leg like this guy sometimes goes for now online. Um, this is your old pal Chuck for Ultra Magnus. We'll see you next time.